Yo, 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 welcome back to the MMA Short Show. Is always your boy, Steven Moustaris. And guys, I just gotta go straight into it, man. Do we really want to see a Nate Diaz, Jake Paul fight in MMA? Like, do we really, I'm not going to sit here and, break down the boxing match or anything crazy. I already knew Jake Paul was going to win. Like, he had a very good chance of winning. To be fair, Nate's the man and everything, but he's cardio king, all this stuff, and it was really frustrating me listening to the commentary in boxing. Like, oh my god, Nate could take a hit. Oh my god, his cardio is crazy. Like, yeah, this is Nate Diaz. If you guys not watch tape, this is what this man has done his entire career. That's who he is. Like, it just blows my mind. But anyway, still, it's like he's never been that technical. I do think 5 years ago when Nate was not outboxing Michael Johnson and all these guys in the UFC, even back 15 years ago, and the way he was throwing hands against Melvin Gillard, the way he's always thrown hands, I truly think that man, even when he's beaten, Anthony Pettis, all these things, I really think that he probably would have done a way better job then. And it feels a little lighter, a couple years ago against Jake, but I still think he would probably lost. It just wasn't as technical. The cardio is beautiful and everything, but it just raises the question for me: do we really want to see this MMA fight? Do we really? I just don't know, man. I just don't think I want one. I think it's going to be really hard to get done because I don't see Nate going to the PFL. I really don't see it. Even if they do a one-time thing and do the job with the Real Fighters Inc. or whatever the hell it is, I just don't see it, man. And it's for me too, guys. I'm not that big of a hater of Jake Paul. I really respect the kid. I like what he's doing. I don't like how he's beating up on MMA legends. How about we start fighting, professional boxers, or even, just some lower grade amateur, whatever. Just start fighting boxers, or maybe fight somebody like Mike Perry or somebody a legitimate guy in their prime still, who's in bare knuckle, running bare knuckle. That would be the perfect fight. Why wouldn't you take out the guy that's the king of bare knuckle boxing right now? Why wouldn't you do that? And he's a little more your size, still a little lighter than him, but still throws heat. That would be the fight. I don't know. What does a win over Jake Paul do for Nate Diaz? I get it. He'd be the first one to really submit him or finish him or whatever if he did it in MMA. And, all the Jake Paul haters would get what they want and see him lose. But it's as an MMA fan over here still, as somebody who truly has loved Nate Diaz for however many years now, 12, 13 years now, dude, why wouldn't you go back to the UFC? Why wouldn't you take your chance at that Conor McGregor trilogy? Why wouldn't you take your chance at the Dustin Poirier fight that you guys have been fighting forever? Or, you never know what happens to Leon Edwards. You could always run that back. There are still a couple fights left in the UFC, but, Nate's only got a couple fights left anyway. And, I'm not trying to be a dick here either, but I'd much rather see Nate, if Nate's looking the way he did this past weekend, I'd much rather see Nate get, beat by a Conor McGregor or a Dustin Poirier, somebody that deserves to get that fight. I don't need to see this man go out there and somehow lose to Jake Paul in an MMA fight because he's just too slow anymore. And Jake, MMA always starts on the feet. You guys can't be sitting here saying, even if you add leg kicks and stuff, Nate's not the greatest kicker. Jake's still going to have a stand-up advantage in this fight. And, I do think he'd get it done very quickly if he gets the clinch at all or gets some sort of takedown or whatever. But, what's that do? What's a win or what's a loss do for Nate Diaz against Jake Paul? Just really a loss, kill it. It's a lose-lose situation because you're going to go in there and you're going to beat him real quick or you choke him out, whatever it is. And it's oh, awesome. Okay, cool. You beat a guy that's never fought it before and cool, whatever. Or you lose and it's dude, you just lost to a YouTuber that's never fought MMA before. What's that say about our favorite sport? Even though the guy's 40 or 39 or whatever it's going to be when this fight happens. And I don't know, man. I just don't like seeing our legends go out like this. I think that's why I take this shit so serious. It was one thing to watch Tyron Woodley lose. It was one thing to watch Ben Askren lose. It was one thing to watch Anderson Silva put on a good fight. But Nate Diaz, man, it's to personally know that this man has been a pioneer for his entire career in this sport. And then for him to, have to even take this boxing match because the UFC won't pay him what he's worth or, or it doesn't give him life insurance, whatever these things are. It's it's just depressing that we got to watch our guys do this. And then, we keep watching our legends retire left and right and, been watching them for years. And it's dude, if we're only going to see you fight one or two more times, I don't need to see you lose to a YouTuber. I can see you lose to a Conor McGregor. I can see you lose to a Dustin Poirier. I can see you lose to a Leon Edwards again. You know what I'm saying? I can see all these things. But for us to watch you lose to a YouTuber or whatever, I don't want to see that shit. He doesn't deserve that stuff. And it's what is a win for Jake Paul to? You beat a 40-year-old. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's just been super frustrating. Again, I'm not even hating on Jake Paul. You got to respect him making this money. He's paying these guys very well. He's done more for the sport of boxing and low-key MMA than anybody has done in a while. honestly, a lot of respect to the kid. He's putting the work in on the craft. Like, you gotta love what he's doing. And I don't hate him enough to see him want to lose like that to a Nate Diaz one time. And like, cool, whatever. If these guys get paid for it, I get it. But like, I just think there's too much to lose for Nate Diaz. Like, what if you lose to Jake Paul? You're never going back to the UFC. Even if you submit Jake Paul, okay, cool, you can go back to the UFC or whatever. But like, you just beat a guy that nobody really cares about. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just super frustrating, and I just think we need to start, getting a little more like. There's no question anymore. Jake's definitely validated when it comes to boxing, but let's start seeing him actually become a boxer. Like I think this is gonna hurt him in the long run to be fighting these slower guys, to be fighting these guys that aren't like giving him any pain or any struggle or anything. Like he said it himself. Like yeah, it looked like Nate was like landing some of them rabbit shots and everything, but like let's be honest, they weren't hurting him at all, like at all. So I don't know, guys. You guys tell me what you guys think for Nate Diaz. I just don't want to watch this MMA fight. I don't know why. Like the boxing match, whatever, cool. Nate can make his money. There's a good excuse for him if he loses, but like he looked really rough Saturday night, and I just don't want to see that at all in MMA. Like I said, I can see it against like a Conor or a Dustin Poirier or something because it's like, hey, okay, you lost to a legend. You guys have been in the like, pretty much. If this was a graduation class, you guys were all in the same graduation class, pretty much. So it's like, why don't we come out together? And, if you lose to Conor, cool, you lost to Conor McGregor. But if you choke him out, you beat Conor fucking McGregor again. Okay, if Dustin Poirier beats you, oh, you lost to DP. If you choke Dustin Poirier out or finish him, like, you beat DP, dude. Like, come on, that's way better than what Jake Paul's doing. So, I don't know, guys. You tell me. As always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. And I just don't want to see it. So, let's go, baby.